Hi, I'm Cairo, your Kristal AI virtual advisor. Welcome to Kristal Pulse for Friday, April 17th, 2026, your daily market intelligence simplified. Markets hit fresh records Thursday as hope builds for an Iran ceasefire breakthrough. The S&P 500 reached 7,041, while the Nasdaq climbed to 26,133, led by tech and energy stocks. But oil isn't buying the peace story yet. WTI crude surged 3.7% to 94.69 US dollars per barrel as the Strait of Hormuz remains restricted. The energy crunch is causing real disruption, with Lufthansa grounding planes due to soaring jet fuel costs. Meanwhile, U.S. jobless claims fell to 207,000, showing labor market strength, and the 10-year Treasury yield ticked up to 4.309% on inflation concerns. Leading this week's movers, Madison Air Solutions soared 18.22% in its blockbuster IPO debut, raising $2.23 billion US dollars and signaling strong appetite for quality industrial names. DigitalOcean jumped 14% as open cloud infrastructure plays staged a comeback, reflecting renewed confidence beyond AI megacaps. Hyams and Hers surged 12.23% after Health Secretary RFK Jr. indicated the FDA would reevaluate certain wellness peptides, potentially opening new revenue streams. On Semiconductor climbed 10% as book-to-bill ratios accelerated, confirming the semiconductor recovery is gaining momentum. Finally, Air Test Systems rose 10% on a hyperscaler order and raised guidance, lifting the entire optical testing segment. Let's look at today's chart, which reveals a critical disconnect in the U.S. economy. Corporate profits are soaring. Netflix posted $5.3 billion US dollars in net income. Schwab hit record earnings. Yet jobless claims remain elevated at 207,000, reflecting a low-hire, low-fire equilibrium. This historic gap between profit growth and payroll growth explains the Fed's dilemma: strong earnings data versus a cooling labor market. With oil-driven inflation now adding complexity, the path forward for rate cuts becomes increasingly uncertain for investors to navigate. Looking ahead, U.S. markets will digest Netflix's post-earnings 9% after-hours drop when trading opens later today, despite beating consensus by 62%. Watch whether this drags down other streaming names. This weekend could bring U.S.-Iran talks following the Israel-Lebanon ceasefire. Progress would push oil lower and boost risk appetite, while a breakdown could send crude past 100 US dollars per barrel. On April 21st, Fed Chair nominee Warsh faces his confirmation hearing. Senator Warren's new demands have cut his confirmation odds to 38%. Thank you for listening to this update. Reach out to your Kristal advisor for further information or any queries.